Hello Moto GP fans. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Marc Marquez has undergone 2 successful operations in Madrid after his heavy highside in the Le Mans sprint left him with a fractured right foot and aggravated a pre-existing shoulder issue. Ducati confirmed the procedures stabilized the 5th metatarsal and removed problematic metalwork from his right shoulder. Marquez will begin rehabilitation and is ruled out of the French and Catalan Grands Prix. Pecco Bagnaia's French Grand Prix ended in bitter disappointment after a mid-race crash while running second, clarified that the incident stemmed from a recurring technical issue rather than rider error. Despite the setback, Bagnaia remains optimistic, pointing to the team's progress across the weekend and expressing confidence that Ducati can resolve the problem before the upcoming Catalunya round. Jorge Martin delivered a statement win at Le Mans, converting sprint form into a Sunday Grand Prix triumph and declaring himself back among MotoGP's elite. The Aprilia rider's victory capped a weekend of strong starts and race management, underlining both personal recovery from a difficult 2025 and Aprilia's growing competitiveness. Massimo Rivola celebrated Aprilia's historic Le Mans podium sweep while urging caution about the championship picture, noting Ducati's package may be better than current results imply. Rivola praised his team's work, highlighted Jorge Martin's emotional return to form, and stressed that respect and measured management will be vital as the title fight tightens. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Marquez was operated on in Madrid where surgeons stabilized a fracture to the 5th metatarsal in his right foot and performed a pre-planned shoulder procedure to remove screws and a bone fragment that had been compressing the radial nerve. He will remain in hospital overnight before starting rehabilitation at home. Marc Marquez underwent successful double surgery this morning. The combined procedures address both the acute injury from the Le Mans highside and a chronic shoulder problem that had been affecting his early season form. Ducati confirmed Marquez will miss Sunday's French Grand Prix and the following Catalan round while he recovers. The reigning world champion's enforced absence removes a proven frontrunner from 2 key European rounds and reshapes the immediate title battle. Missing consecutive Grands Prix at this stage increases pressure on teammates to cover points and on Ducati to manage constructor objectives. The foot fracture followed a violent highside on the penultimate lap of the Le Mans sprint. Marquez had already been carrying a shoulder issue from last year's Indonesian crash. The Le Mans incident exacerbated that problem and prompted the earlier planned shoulder surgery to relieve nerve compression. Addressing the shoulder now may help his long-term performance, but the short-term cost is time out of the saddle and lost championship opportunities. Ducati must adapt its race and development plans without its lead rider for at least 2 rounds. Recent upgrades and positive test work will need validation by other riders, and the factory will rely on teammates to protect constructor points while managing the political and morale effects of Marquez's absence. Teams typically accelerate data sharing and standardize setups when a key rider is sidelined to limit competitive disruption. Ducati said the progress of Marquez's rehabilitation will determine his return to competition. Immediate priorities are successful post-op recovery and a measured physiotherapy program. The team will avoid rushing him back to reduce the risk of complications. Recovery after foot surgery and shoulder revision varies by individual. A cautious approach is standard to ensure full functional recovery for high-load racing demands. Marquez's double surgery is a decisive intervention that addresses both an acute fracture and a chronic shoulder issue. Short-term, Ducati loses a major contender for at least 2 Grands Prix and must reallocate responsibilities across the team. Medium-term, if rehabilitation proceeds smoothly, the shoulder fix could remove a lingering performance limiter, but the immediate focus remains on recovery and careful timing of his return to racing. Starting from his first pole of the season, Bagnaia's launch faltered and he slipped to 5th on the opening lap. Undeterred, he fought his way back through the pack, overtaking rivals to settle into second behind Marco Bezzecchi. From there, He looked poised to secure his first Sunday podium of 2026, adding to his sprint runner-up finish the day before. His pace was strong, and he managed tire life effectively in the early stages. But by lap 16 of 27, a creeping loss of front-end confidence caught him out at the first chicane, ending his race abruptly. "We were fast all weekend, we took pole. Today we were behind Bez at the start, but I was able to manage it all pretty well, and unfortunately what happened. Bagnaia explained that the team has already identified the precise cause of the incident, stressing that it was not human error. He described how a recurring issue gradually eroded his confidence in the front end, worsening over the final 7 laps until he could no longer turn in as required. He linked the problem to the same issue that had triggered his crash in Spain, confirming a pattern that Ducati engineers must now address. The immediate engineering priority is stabilizing the front end, ensuring predictable braking, turn-in, and cornering behavior so Bagnaia can attack without fear of sudden loss of grip. He emphasized that the team is already working on the issue and that having a clear diagnosis provides direction. The challenge is to translate that understanding into a reliable fix that holds across different circuits and conditions. Bagnaia's crash carried added weight because he was Ducati's only factory rider on track, with Marc Marquez sidelined by injury after his sprint accident. The DNF not only cost Bagnaia valuable championship points but also deprived Ducati of a key chance to validate recent upgrades under race conditions. Still, Bagnaia highlighted the positives: pole position, strong sprint pace, and clear signs of progress compared to earlier rounds. Despite the setback, Bagnaia remains upbeat, insisting that knowing the cause of the crash helps him move forward with confidence. He believes the team's trajectory is positive and expects further gains at Barcelona, where Ducati's aero and setup work could be decisive. His resilience reflects a broader theme of his season. Setbacks have been frequent, but he continues to frame them as solvable engineering puzzles rather than personal crises. Bagnaia's Le Mans crash appears to be the product of a repeatable technical fault rather than a rider confidence lapse. With Ducati already diagnosing the issue, the focus now shifts to implementing targeted fixes in braking stability and front-end feel. If those adjustments hold, Bagnaia should quickly return to podium contention and reassert himself in the title fight. If not, the recurring front-end weakness risks undermining his season, turning small mechanical flaws into major championship setbacks. The Catalunya round will be the first real test of whether Ducati's diagnosis translates into a solution. Martin's Le Mans victory was more than a race win. It marked a full return from injury and off-track turmoil and felt, to him, as proud a moment as his 2024 title. After missing much of 2025 and enduring a public contract saga, the Spaniard now says he's a better rider for the experience and is relishing his renewed form. "I am here at Aprilia and I will defend these colors, as long as I am with them." Wins that follow adversity often carry extra momentum. Martin's confidence now looks matched by results. The weekend reinforced Martin's strength off the line. His sprint and Grand Prix performances both hinged on rapid launches and decisive early moves. That ability to gain track position immediately forced rivals into recovery mode and allowed Martin to manage pace and tires from the front. On circuits where overtaking is limited, superior starts can convert into sustained race control. Aprilia's form was evident in a podium sweep at Le Mans, and Martin's win tightens the intra-team title battle with Marco Bezzecchi. While Bezzecchi still leads the standings, Martin's pace and apparent upward trajectory mean Aprilia now has 2 genuine title contenders. When teammates both deliver top results, the constructor gains depth but the riders face a more intense internal rivalry. Martin admitted he still lacks a settled base setup and is actively searching for it. The win therefore comes with a caveat: the bike is fast, but Martin believes finding a consistent baseline will unlock even more performance across varied circuits. "We still don't have my base set up, so I'm working on that." Winning while still experimenting suggests a high ceiling. The challenge is turning short-term speed into long-term stability. Martin's victory reshapes the championship narrative. He's closed the gap on Bezzecchi and signaled that Aprilia's momentum is real. The result also raises strategic questions for rivals, who must now contend with Martin's starts and Aprilia's race pace as the season moves into a dense European swing. The coming rounds will test whether Martin's form is sustainable, and whether Aprilia can manage two riders pushing for the title without internal friction. Jorge Martin's Le Mans Grand Prix win is both a personal vindication and a tactical warning to rivals. If he finds the base setup he's seeking, Martin could be the rider to challenge consistently for wins. If not, his raw speed will still make him a frequent threat. Either way, Aprilia's strength at Le Mans signals a tighter, more unpredictable title fight as the season progresses. Rivola framed Le Mans as a landmark for Aprilia, the manufacturer's first ever 1-2-3, and a vindication of long-term choices and hard work. He singled out the emotional arc from last year's contract saga to this weekend's success as especially satisfying. An incredible weekend. It's a piece of history to mark on the calendar. Milestone weekends like this boost morale across the factory and satellite structure, reinforcing development direction and commercial momentum. Rivola emphasized the human side of Martin's resurgence, describing a mix of firm management and personal support that helped the rider refocus. He praised Martin's emotional reaction at the finish and framed the win as both a sporting and relational success. Rebuilding a rider's confidence after injuries and off-track disputes often requires both technical fixes and careful people management. While celebrating Aprilia's pace, Rivola remained measured. Qualifying didn't show three Aprilias at the front, and rivals remained close. He warned against overconfidence and noted Ducati's underlying strength despite their inconsistent results. Ducati has certainly achieved less than it deserved, because the bike is probably stronger than the current standings suggest. Publicly acknowledging a rival's latent strength is a strategic way to temper expectations and avoid complacency. Rivola praised the professionalism of Martin and Marco Bezzecchi, stressing respect as the only internal rule. He welcomed clean, decisive overtakes between teammates but warned that contact would trigger intervention. The message: let them race, but keep it civil. Clear team principles reduce the risk of intra-team conflict derailing a championship campaign. Rivola celebrated Aprilia's progress while reminding stakeholders the championship remains long and tight. He singled out AI Ogura's tire management and overtaking as additional strengths and urged continued focus on consistency and maturity under pressure. A manufacturer that combines raw pace with rider maturity and strategic discipline is best placed to sustain a title challenge across a long season. Rivola's reaction blends justified celebration with strategic caution. Le Mans proved Aprilia's package can dominate, but the championship will be decided by small margins and consistent execution. If Aprilia sustains development and the riders maintain mutual respect, they'll be genuine title contenders. Yet Rivola's nod to Ducati's latent strength is a reminder that the fight is far from over. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your Moto GP news update. And see you next time!